when I'm doing my story, I'm going to make sure I read this. And it says for the score guide for my reading that 5 facts, and I will include definitions. So 5 facts is a C, 6 is a B, and 7 is an A. So you do get to include definitions of the words that are black, like bold faced. So today I have exiles, dictator, that's pretty intense, ghetto, and repertoire. Oh, I also have refuge. That's pretty intense. So I have 5 definitions if I want to use those, if I feel like I just don't have enough facts. But it's also good when I have these: exile, refuge, dictator, ghetto, and repertoire. Those are new words. So usually when something is bolded like that, that means that that might not be a typical word, and they're definitely, for this grade level, they're definitely going to provide you with a definition. So I'll show you where those are. In the front page where they give you the title, they give you the definitions. And so a dictator is a ruler with absolute power, especially one who rules tyrannically. So tyranny, which means almost mean and unfair. It's not a fair rule for people. The other one was exile, people forced to leave their country of origin either because conditions are horrible or because the government has sent them away. So that's another one. Then they also said ghetto. It's a noun. So the first one's a noun, exile is a noun, ghetto is a noun. A section of a city where many members of a minority live, usually in poverty. The next one they talked about was refuge. Refuge is a place of safety, comfort, or protection. Then they had, where's the other one? I think that was it. 5 of them. Refuge. Oh, repertoire. A repertoire, the collection of songs, roles, plays, or operas that a group knows and can perform. I have a repertoire of Jingle Bells on the recorder. I will not brag about that, but it's a true thing. Anyway, just so you know. So those are the vocabulary words we're going to be reading about today. Those words make me think that this story is going to talk about someone who might not have had it very easy. So this is page 3 right here. And it says, the 3 people featured in this book, Gloria Estefan, Dambembe Mutombo. I cannot remember how to say his name, but I know his last name is Mutombo because he played basketball. And Albert Einstein are all immigrants who moved to the United States. The circumstances that caused them to leave their countries of origin are very different, as are the areas in which they became influential. Yet their stories have 2 common threads: remarkable success and strong commitment to making a contribution toward the betterment of humanity. Well, that is 2 big things. That's not just your average Joe. I actually remember listening to her when I was a little girl. I guess that would tell you how her age is more like your parents, maybe, and less like, well, maybe not even like your parents, but maybe your grandparents. I hate saying that because I could be a grandparent, but I'm not. Anyways, so Gloria Estefan, Gloria Maria Milagros, I don't know how to say this last part, at birth, was born in Havana, Cuba on September 1st, 1957. When she was 16 months old, her family fled the communist government of dictator Fidel Castro. I've not heard very many good things about that person. And moved to Miami, Florida. She and her mother lived in a Miami ghetto. So if I was going to pick a fact, that Fidel Castro was a dictator and ran a communist country. That's where she escaped. So that'll be one of my facts. I'll put a number 1 there. I'll write that in my book here. Her father, who had been a Cuban soldier, was involved in the 1961 Bay of Pigs invasion, which was an unsuccessful attempt by Cuban exiles backed by the United States government to overthrow the Cuban government. Gloria's father was captured and imprisoned, yikes, in Cuba for 18 months. After his release, he moved his family to Texas. Later, he served in Vietnam for 2 years, after which the family returned to Miami in 1968. Boy, that's pretty intense. So my second fact is that her family was, I'm going to write that that her dad was a veteran. Gloria grew up with the responsibilities of a caretaker on her shoulders. She took care of her younger sister Rebecca while her mother worked days and attended school at night. And she also took care of her father after he was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. Ooh, that's tough. That's when your muscles kind of stop working. Doctors thought his illness might be connected to a toxic chemical called Agent Orange that he was exposed to while serving in the military during the Vietnam War. The chemical was used to destroy trees and shrubs where enemy soldiers were hiding. And as a result, American soldiers were also exposed to it. Gloria cared for her father after school until she was 16, when he entered a veterans hospital. During those long years of caretaking, Gloria took refuge in playing the guitar and singing in her room. So she escaped to a safe place, is what that means, by playing the guitar. Sometimes I feel like that when I read a good book. She entered the University of Miami in 1975. I'm going to do that one for a connection, so that's my third. She entered the University of Miami in 1975 on a partial scholarship to study psychology and completed a bachelor's degree in 1978. That's cool. Although she loved music, she was incredibly shy and could not imagine herself performing in public. Whoa, that's crazy. I'm going to put that as my 4th one, that she was shy. One day her mother took her to a Cuban wedding where she met her future husband, Emilio Esteván, and his Cuban-American band, the Miami Latin Boys. Before long, she became an accompanist and occasional lead singer of the band. Emilio, the group's leader and keyboard player, helped Gloria to break through her shyness. Over time, she began to sing more often and to add her own pop songs to the group's repertoire, so the things that they would perform. The group, eventually renamed Miami Sound Machine, began releasing albums and starting in 1984, their success began to skyrocket. I remember her songs. At first, their rising fame was supported by an exclusively Hispanic audience, but they soon became recognized and widely mixed following that enjoyed pop, dance, soul, and Latin music. As the group became more popular, it was called Gloria Estefan and the Miami Sound Machine to highlight her importance in the group, and eventually just Gloria Estefan. When I was a kid, so I moved to California in like 1984. And most of the kids in my school were Hispanic, and I was one of the few Caucasian students. But they all listened to her music, and I remember not knowing what they were saying, but the kids just loved it. And we would listen to it on headphones at recess. I don't think we were allowed to have them, but we did anyway. So now I have my paper here, and I'm going to zoom back out so you can see a little bit better of what I'm going to do. I have to use a clip to hold up my camera because it's breaking. And so my first fact is going to be about Fidel Castro. Again, I'm spelling it correctly because it's in the book. Was a communist dictator. And I'm going to put ruler. That just means that you didn't get to pick who your government person was. Then my second one was Gloria's dad was a veteran. My third one, Gloria used music to escape her hard job of caretaking. And I'm going to write that down. So, and I'm spelling it. It is, so this is a compound word that has the word care and the word taking, and they are joined together. That's how they're spelled correctly. So care is one word, taking is another word, but caretaking is an actual job. 4, Gloria was shy and had to learn to be brave and sing in front of others. You can pause the video if I am writing too fast for you. I apologize. I want to make sure my video is not too long. Next, her husband and their band released their album in 1984. That's crazy. Just to show you how old I am. That's like, yeah, a long time ago. So I need 2 more. So right now I have capitals and end marks at the top. This meets the criteria for a C, so that's passing. But I am going to write down 2 words. I'm going to write the definition for exile, because that's what happened to her dad. And then I'm also going to write the definition for refuge. Oops, I forgot the E. Make sure you spell those right. So I'm going to write the definition for those two using the words on the front of the page. And then I will have met the 7 facts, connections, or questions. I also should have just asked, I wonder if they are still making music, because it's way later.